Hey, what's up? I'm DJ Swerve, and you're watching Soundophiles.com.
Drop the bass.
Back again. Rat-tat-tat-tat. Comeback Riddim. Swerve. Oh, Jesus. I treated the scene like a jack move, blowing at you like this beat's more nuts than a cashew, especially when it goes. Who said Grammy?
Well, DJ Swerve is an R&B DJ originally, hip-hop fan from the 90s. Joined Kiss in about 99, 2000. And then, I guess a few years ago, got into grime production through Street Fighter Riddim. I've been producing since about 2002, 2003, but really just trying to find the sound that worked, and I started just kind of producing and emulating sort of hip-hop and R&B. Didn't quite get that success, nothing really caught, and then Street Fighter Riddim came about. Grime, I'd always been a fan of grime for a good few years, I'd always incorporate it in my sets, but then Street Fighter came and I was like, you know what, this is what I need to be doing, just seeing how everyone embraced it. Just seeing like Double perform it and just smash it, I was like, wow, this is what I'm going to do. I love it, you know. How Comeback Riddim came about, we recorded it, I think it was like July 2011. I wanted to call it Comeback. I always name my tracks like Riddims and stuff, and the reason why I called it Comeback Riddim was I'd sort of been quiet since kind of Ho Riddim. It had been a little while. I was just so busy with like doing the radio and doing gigs and stuff. Kind of, obviously, like my profile went up, having done those within a short period of time. You had Street Fighter, and then a few months later there was a Ho Riddim P Money on that. Kind of went crazy. I'd taken a little bit of time. I don't know, some of it was kind of like pressure. I just thought, wow, if I've just done 2 tunes like that, I can't come with anything that's less than either of those two. And I just thought, you know what, this is kind of like my comeback rhythm. So I typed that in the file. And I sent it to P. I just said, P, look, do you want to work on this tune? And P, being the artist that he is, he's then taken Comeback. It wasn't even, you know, we never had the conversation to say, this is called this is Comeback Riddim, make a song called Comeback. Do you know what I mean? But P just clicked, he's done it. So then he came around and he did it. Originally, that was a solo thing. P's obviously working on his album. And P was like, you know what? I think this is going to work great by bringing in Blacks and Little Dee and making it an OG's record. And yeah, it was great because I just worked with Blacks on Just Rewind with Marco and Lady Sham, and then met Little Dee. They all came in the studio, and yeah, it was a gradual process. So we did that video like in November. So it's been quite a while sort of building. I'm going to do some more stuff with Marco. We're going to kind of like cement that. I get on really well with him. We're looking to DJ together. That we'll have an announcement once there's more of a kind of a story behind it. But I'm working heavily with Marco. Had a session recently with Jake Gosling. Obviously had a lot of success with Ed Sheeran, as well as a whole bunch of other stuff. That session went really well. We worked together like just one session, and we've already got like a really, really good tune out of it. So we're looking to do that again. I love collaborating with the right people. If you can meet with someone, whether it's an artist or another producer, and you can both bring something different, I think that's where it's really, really exciting. I think getting into production I guess it was a natural development. You pretty much do, psychologically, you do production like in your head. If you, as a DJ, you're picking tunes, like for your radio show, you know, when I'll be selecting tunes, I'll be like, I like that. And then the next step would be, if you're that way inclined, would be, why do I like it? And then once you've worked out why you like it, again, if you're really into it, you're then, right, I want to try and make a record that has that kind of impact, whether it's the drop, whether it's the drums, or whatever. I'm a big fan of bass, like bass. For me, back when I first started getting into hip-hop, like the 808 bass drum is just so iconic. So I think that's really what drives me into sort of grime and into dubstep, that kind of thing. I'm kind of just, I sort of make what I feel. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of like a hybrid. You know, I certainly wouldn't say, you know, I'm a dubstep producer, because like that's a whole new level with the way they program and the way they do their sounds. I kind of like pull things from different genres, things that I like. Do you know what I mean? That's my sound that I've got, and And I just love that sort of 140, 142 kind of tempo. I'm going to try some other stuff as well, but I really, really feel grime. I like the energy. I just think it's a very like honest music. People just say what's on their mind in the music, and they just go in. And you go like grime raves. I mean, I went to Eskimo Dance, and it was absolute madness. It really was, and you could just see, and there was no trouble, and you just had all of this just energy. You could just feel the energy. I was up on the first floor by the bar. I was looking across. It's incredible. It was just incredible. I think I got into grime around when Wiley was doing like Eskimo, that kind of thing, because it was crossing over into the clubs. There'd always, like, historically in R&B and hip hop clubs, they would always bring in other genres, and that's what I would always like. I remember going way back when I was raving. There was a DJ, Fat Freddie M, like Kiss DJ from back in the day. I remember he was at an R&B club, and he opened his set up with like ragga, you know, as it was called then, right, with ragga, and I was like, what is going on? And everyone just going crazy. So from then on, I would see like the impact that had on like a crowd, and so I was always looking for those genres. Obviously then jungle came through, like two-step garage came through, and then grime would start coming through. So I'd always have my ears open to a whole bunch of different sounds. I've always liked different genres. It's just, I guess the first thing that people heard me doing was obviously the R&B and the hip hop. Well, Speakerbox is a project. I think it's kind of like a brainchild of Mr. Jam. He's I think the title's creative director. So, you know, it's kind of his brainchild with clubs and with the record label as well, doing events and that kind of thing. So, I mean, Jam's been a very, very big supporter for the stuff that I've been doing. I mean, Street Fighter, Ho Riddim, there have been a number of DJs. If you didn't get that DJ love, they wouldn't have been as good as, you know, and as successful as they are. So he's one of those key DJs that, you know, it's really important to have on board. And then for him to sort of, you know, appreciate and support the music, and then being part of a project that he's involved in is great. And there was the launch party a few weeks ago where I played it, and it was great to sort of meet the other DJs. And I think there's definitely a community building within the UK scene. It's very embracing. There can be times where in other scenes where it can be quite, you know, it's kind of competitive, but it isn't in a way. It really depends on who you see your competitor as. You know, are your competitors your peers, your people you're working with, or are they the people that aren't feeling the stuff that you're into? Do you know what I mean? Those are the people you've got to win over. Those are really your competition. Hey, what's going on DJ Swerve? And like, if you can support Comeback Riddim, I'd really appreciate it. Whether you're a DJ, whether you're a blogger, whatever. If you're a fan, you can get it on iTunes. Just type in Comeback Riddim, and you'll find it. You can find a ringtone for your phone as well. So there's a lot you can do.
Chop 'em up.